Jezebel's story begins in a time of political alliances and spiritual turmoil, her name destined to echo as a symbol of defiance, manipulation, and ultimate judgment. The Phoenician princess, daughter of Ethbaal, king of Sidon, was wed to Ahab, king of Israel, in a political marriage meant to strengthen ties between their nations. But with her arrival came the worship of Baal, a pagan god of storms and fertility, and a wave of idolatry that would infect Israel to its core. Jezebel was not content to let her new kingdom worship Yahweh, the God of Israel. Instead, she became a force of darkness, introducing altars to Baal and Asherah, and demanding loyalty to her gods. The queen's power grew, as did her ruthlessness. She orchestrated a violent purge, slaughtering Yahweh's prophets and replacing them with hundreds of Baal's priests. The land trembled under her reign of terror. But Yahweh raised up Elijah, a prophet with fire in his spirit and a mission to challenge her idolatry. The clash between Jezebel's forces and Yahweh's prophet reached its apex on Mount Carmel, a site destined to become a battleground of the divine. Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal to a public contest. 2 altars would be prepared, one for Baal and one for Yahweh. The God who answered with fire would be proven the true God. The prophets of Baal danced, shouted, and even slashed themselves with knives, their blood staining the stones. But their God remained silent. Hours passed, and their cries faded into despair. Then Elijah stepped forward. He rebuilt Yahweh's altar, drenched it in water until the trench around it overflowed, and called upon Yahweh. In a moment that shook the heavens, fire fell from the sky, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water. The people of Israel fell to their knees, crying, "Yahweh, He is God!" The prophets of Baal were seized and executed at Elijah's command. Jezebel's gods had been humiliated, but the queen's fury burned hotter than the flames of Yahweh's altar. When Jezebel heard of the prophet's defeat, she sent a chilling message to Elijah. "May the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like one of them." Elijah, exhausted and fearful, fled into the wilderness. But Jezebel's defiance against Yahweh had not gone unnoticed. Judgment was brewing. Her evil only deepened when her husband, King Ahab, coveted a vineyard owned by a righteous man named Naboth. Naboth refused to sell the land, honoring Yahweh's command to preserve ancestral inheritance. Ahab sulked, but Jezebel took matters into her own hands. She forged letters in Ahab's name, orchestrating false accusations of blasphemy against Naboth. The innocent man was stoned to death, and Ahab seized the vineyard. But Jezebel's scheme drew Yahweh's wrath. Elijah confronted Ahab, delivering a prophecy that would haunt Jezebel's final days. "Dogs will devour Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel." Years passed, and Ahab died in battle, fulfilling part of Elijah's prophecy. Jezebel's son, Ahaziah, ruled briefly before meeting a similar fate. Another son, Joram, ascended the throne, but Yahweh's judgment was far from finished. Jehu, a military commander anointed by Yahweh to cleanse Israel, marched toward Jezreel to confront her. Jezebel's final moments were as defiant as her life. Hearing of Jehu's approach, she painted her face, adorned her hair, and positioned herself in a window overlooking the city gate. Her intention was clear. She would face her enemy as a queen, regal and unbroken. When Jehu arrived, she mocked him, calling him a traitor. But Jehu's response was swift and merciless. He shouted to her servants, "Who is on my side?" At his command, they threw her from the window. Her body struck the ground with a sickening thud, and as Elijah had prophesied, dogs devoured her flesh, leaving only her skull, hands, and feet. Jezebel's story is a chilling tale of unchecked idolatry, manipulation, and defiance against Yahweh. She wielded her power with cruelty, turning the hearts of Israel away from their God and toward false idols. But her death stands as a stark reminder that no one, no matter how powerful, can escape Yahweh's judgment. Her legacy is a warning. The path of rebellion leads only to destruction, and Yahweh's sovereignty cannot be challenged. Her rise was marked by cunning and control, but her fall was swift, humiliating, and final. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe, share, like, and comment. Thank you, and see you soon.